Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
This is the Roger Stone Show, presented by Colonial Metals Group.
A man who's gone through hell, but he's kept going, and he's smart, and he's strong, and people love him. Not everybody, but people love him and respect him. Roger Stone.
Now, here's Roger Stone.
And we're back. Boy, my text messages are blowing up. In the last segment, we talked with criminal defense attorney David Schoen about the unfair and outrageous prosecution of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency pioneer David Vare. And I mistakenly said that President Donald Trump had appointed David Sachs as the crypto czar. I meant to say Jeffrey Sachs. Wanted to make that correction. He's a very smart guy. Really enjoyed watching him on X. He knows a lot more than just crypto. He's got the big picture about what the globalists have in mind for America. If you are a follower of the Roger Stone Show here on the Red Apple Audio Network, you know we love the animals just as Jesus loved the animals. Last week, we spoke to Justin Goodman of the White Coat Waste Project. I've worked with them as a volunteer to fight the U.S. government conducting these cruel and inhumane scientific experiments on cats and dogs and other primates. During President Donald Trump's first term, we got him to outlaw that kind of horrific torture of animals by the Department of Defense and numerous other departments of the government. Now we're back at it. It's going to be even better because Donald Trump is going to act to protect the animals in his new term. Joining us now, however, is Leo Grillo. Leo Grillo is an animal activist, actor, and he's the founder of Delta Rescue. That's the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the United States. Since 1979, Leo has been dedicated his entire life to rescuing and providing lifelong care for abandoned and abused animals, particularly dogs and cats. Now, under his leadership, Delta Rescue has grown into a sprawling sanctuary in Glendale, California, housing and caring for thousands of cats, dogs, and horses without relying on adoptions. Grillo is known for his outspoken advocacy against euthanasia in shelters, they call those kill shelters, and his efforts to reform animal welfare policies and laws. I myself have worked hard right here in South Florida to shut down 4 puppy mills that I thought animals were being abused. Unfortunately, as soon as you close one down, they seem to pop up across town. But I don't intend to give up, and either does Leo Grillo. Leo, welcome to the Roger Stone Show.
Thank you, Roger. It's really great to be here. I'm listening to your ads and listening to you. I said, wow, I think I'm home.
So
this is great. Yeah.
So Delta Rescue, as we pointed out, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the United States, has been under attack. You faced numerous challenges over the last couple of years in your mission. But however, I saw a story about one of the most egregious attacks on you that came in the form of an unprincipled lawsuit filed by a woman named Adriana Duarte. She's actually an illegal immigrant who lied about her status to get employment and worked for Delta Rescue. She even provided a fake Social Security number while she was working for Delta for 2.5 years. She stole hundreds of thousands of dollars in supplies from the sanctuary. These are supplies that were meant to help the animals. But then Adriana Duarte worked while working at Delta, and while caught stealing, abruptly quit. And then she immediately filed a lawsuit against you. Tell us about the lawsuit, Leo.
Well, first, Roger, I didn't find out about her status until she sued us. Here in the United States, the government says that we cannot investigate potential employees if they give us a 9-9, et cetera, though many are fake. In fact, IRS said it's discrimination to do that. We got a letter from the ones they showed us years ago. They showed us over 250 people had come and gone in a year with fake socials. And they said, in the same letter, they said, there's nothing you can do about this. It's discrimination. We just want you to know. We can't even question. We can't question anything. The only thing I knew about Duarte, because they don't bother me with this, I have a staff that handles all this. I'm really a volunteer. I rescue animals. I only care about the animals. I do get involved in the day-to-day running of the staff. I did get a call. They said, we have a farm worker. They said lettuce picker to me, and I used that term, and apparently that's derogatory. But they said she was a lettuce picker, but who wanted to come in from the cold. She had no animal experience, which is a prerequisite. So they called me directly, and they said, can we hire this woman? I said, oh, my God, the poor woman. You know, she's in her 40s. She wants to come in from yeah, absolutely. Find her something. See what she could do. And that's the only connection I had with her. And I've spent my life rescuing animals from certain death. I've been in the wilderness. I've got videos out there like crazy. I was always in the woods, and then the desert. My focus is the animals. Then out of the blue, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, I get these emails from this woman. She's trying to set me up. Now, the email is from somebody called Gabriella. And I said, who the heck is this? And her name is Adriana. And okay. And she had a sister that we knew as Fabiola. Well, who's this woman emailing me? Well, okay. So she said, I'm in the hospital having a baby. And, and I want to come back to work tomorrow. Meanwhile, she had a C-section, right? So I answered the emails, and I forgot about them. I'm not human resources. We have people for that. Months later, we get served with this lawsuit. And then it all begins. It's lies. She never told anybody she was pregnant. And she sued for 15 counts of not accommodating her pregnancy, including federal counts. She sued for wrongful termination when we simply refused to let her come back to work after we found out she was stealing. Now, it's all in the Frank report, by the way, number 3 of which is out today. But it also begs the question, what kind of unethical American lawyer would do this to us? Who would sue a fellow American, let alone a charity, on behalf of an illegal alien? Now, we had insurance. At first, I didn't worry too much. We were with the Nonprofit Insurance Alliance Group, and I thought, they'll take care of us. But when I met the lawyers that they assigned to us, I became worried. They were settlement lawyers, not litigators. They were rank amateurs up against a circus performer. This unethical lawyer, this Jacob Nalbandian, is a deceiver, is a showman. He confuses the jury, and he plays on emotion. He has no facts. He lost an almost identical case in March to a seasoned attorney. But our insurance lawyers were not seasoned, and the carrier refused commerce counsel. So between the biased woke judge, the inexperienced defense lawyers, and the unethical plaintiff's lawyer, we got hammered.
The court awarded this woman a $6.7 million judgment. All the time she was using a fake Social Security number and lying about her status as an American. This begs the question, should illegal immigrants in this country illegally have the right to sue American citizens or even in this case, nonprofits?
This is what I've been asking, Roger. And I've been on this ever since day one. I said, what's wrong here? What's wrong here? How does it turned out the Supreme Court made a ruling in 07 or 08, and it's published. An illegal cannot sue an employer because they're illegal. They're not legal. They can't sue. They're not standing to sue. They're not legal. They should be deported. And it said in 2007 or 8, whatever, that the employer can get in serious trouble if he knowingly hires one of these illegals. Supreme Court. Now, meanwhile, you look at all these cases, including ours, but look all over the country. The illegals are suing Americans like crazy. So your gardener can take your house. I mean, this is how crazy this is. And I'm saying, we've got to have a law beyond our case. Our case will be over in 2-3 years. I don't know much about politics, But I said, I need to team up with a congressperson who could write a bill to stop 25 million illegal aliens from having standing to sue American citizens in our own courts, which we pay for. And I don't know much about politics. I've got you're the pro there. I don't know, but I am impressed by a particular congresswoman, Nancy Mace, South Carolina. She's the real thing. She's like one of us. I wrote to her on Instagram and I only got an auto reply. But Nancy, if you hear this, contact me. Let's join up in this fight and make a new law. Illegal aliens should not have standing to sue us in our own country. That is nuts.
When we get back, I want to ask you about your sanctuary and the no-kill, care-for-life policy, why it's so important and what challenges come with it. Obviously, funding is always an issue for nonprofits, so $6.7 million out of your budget, money that is meant to help the animals. Well, I'm pretty outraged about all of this. When we come back, Leo Grillo of the Delta Rescue Schedule, which is, as I say, the largest no-kill care for animals for life sanctuary in the United States, joins us to talk about this egregious attack on his nonprofit.
This is the Roger Stone Show.
Impact confirmed. The Slayer has been activated.
Demonic threat level increasing.
Hold the line!
All the power of hell cowering before one man.
id Software presents Doom, The Dark Ages. Available now on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC.
Rated M for mature.
Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. They ship Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garten's famous cakes. So if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT.
This episode is brought to you by Factor. Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never-frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code listen50 for 50% off, plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50. Code listen50. Terms and conditions apply.
Every idea starts with a problem. Warby Parker's was simple. Glasses are too expensive. So they set out to change that. By designing glasses in-house and selling directly to customers, they're able to offer prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Warby Parker glasses are made from premium materials like impact-resistant polycarbonate and custom acetate. And they start at just $95, including prescription lenses. Get glasses made from the good stuff. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.
Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, and Donald Trump.
They went after a guy named Roger Stone, who's sitting in the office. And I'll say this in front of Roger, he's no baby. And right now, he's cleaner than anybody in this place. No, they treated him very unfairly.
All of these presidents relied on one man to secure their seat in the Oval Office. That man is Roger Stone.
Roger Stone.
This is the Roger Stone Show, presented by Colonial Metals Group. Now, here's Roger Stone.
And we're back. We're talking to Leo Grillo. He is the founder of Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the United States. You know, Leo, in the course of my marriage to Mrs. Stone, we have had no less than 9 Yorkshire Terriers. Our current babies, Mimi and Pee-wee 2.0, both of them more intelligent, I think, than Kamala Harris. We also once had a 3-legged Wheaton Terrier named Oscar. My wife found him on the side of the road. He'd been hit by a car. His right leg was badly mangled. We tried to save it, but in the end, it had to be amputated. You know, Oscar got along pretty good on three legs for the rest of his 9 years with us after that. So this is an issue that my heart is really in. You've rescued thousands of animals. Can you share one particular story about a rescue case that really stuck with you?
You know, I was going to tell you about one that's on my mind because I thought about this. But you just named some names. I doubt you can name a name we haven't had one of. But in my first, I was an actor and I was, going to auditions. And then, the long story, I found my dog up in the mountains. I named him Delta, meaning change. And I used to take him. I was a Dobie. I used to take him out in the woods for walks. And I found 35 dogs one day. In those 35 dogs, which led to everything else, were Briards, a Briard mix and Wheaten Terriers. I have on my Christmas package every year, I send out, and I always have a picture of one of my Wheatens, Felicia, and she's long gone, but I always put her in the thing, in the letter. I commend you on what you've done. I mean, when people do what you do, that's my whole point. I have a YouTube show right now. You get under Leo Grillo Animal Rescuer. It's a new show as opposed to the Delta Rescue one. We have like 30 episodes up. We publish weekly, and I'm doing it for one reason. I'm doing it because I want people around the world to see how precious these animals are. We're Care for Life. We have them for the rest of their life. We have our own hospital. We have 2 veterinarians. We take care of our animals for life. And when people see how happy they are, they come into their new yard. They've been abandoned. Some idiot threw them out in the wilderness, and they're starving, and they're injured, or they're sick. I rescue them, and they come in, and they're so happy to be in their new yard. They have their house, their pool, their yard, their neighbors. And these guys, you watch these shows, and look how happy these dogs are, and that's who they are. So I want the world. YouTube says if we get big enough, we can dub our shows into up to 35 foreign languages. Now, imagine 35 foreign languages. The whole world can see what we're doing. Not that they're going to do it, but some person out there is going to turn and tell her husband, hey, the dog that's been living under the tree across the way for 2 years and keeps having those puppies. I just saw this show. She's an angel. Somebody threw out an angel. We should take her in, and that's all I want. And you've already done that. I commend you for that because you've already done that. That's an important thing. And I'm sorry, I forgot the question, but I wanted to tell you that.
You're doing fine. Look, it's amazing to me. A local pet store here has adoption hours on Saturday mornings, but my wife won't let me go alone because she knows I'm going to come home with a carload full of dogs.
She's smart.
I mean, she really is. This is an issue that I really think transcends politics, transcends ideology. This is about saving God's most vulnerable creatures. This is why I was so proud to work with the White Coat Waste Project. We made really great strides in stopping the cruel and inhumane torture. It's nothing but torture. I'm sure you remember those famous photos of put together by Dr. Anthony Fauci of beagles, where he would lock the beagle's head in this cage full of sand fleas and see how long it took the sand fleas to eat the flesh of these beagles. Now, you explain to me what legitimate scientific purpose or medicinal purpose that research could possibly have. A man who will torture animals. Well, I detail in my book, The Men Who Killed Kennedy, the case against LBJ. As a boy, Lyndon Baines Johnson once took a cherry bomb, that's fireworks, lit it and dropped it down the throat of a dog to watch the dog explode. On another occasion, he beat a mule to death with a baseball bat. This is all recorded and undisputable.
Wow.
This man was president of the United States. You won't find any of that in his official biography. We're going to be talking about the Kennedy assassination document released later in the show with Congressman Tim Burchett, who's written a letter to the president wants to make sure they actually release all those classified documents and that bureaucrats don't find some workaround to keep some of it out. Leo, this is an important point. Tell people how they can support your nonprofit. How can they support your vital work?
Well, I would tell you that we lost most of our left-wing donors when I started helping ICE and Border Patrol rescuing dogs left by illegals at the border. So we lost the woke donors. As soon as I said illegal aliens, they said, "Oh, you're a Trump supporter. We're not going to donate anymore." I said, "This is about animals. I'm not doing anything political. I'm just telling you the facts." No, we're not going to give you any more. You're a racist. You're calling them illegals, not undocumented workers. So what I'm doing is I'm glad to be on your show for this. You're such a great conservative. I'm asking conservatives to rally around our mission. The number one, make up for the losses and to change things. We've got this $6 million, whatever it is. I'm not worried about that, frankly. The amount is not going to stand. We have the judge has made so many egregious rulings that it's an absolute flip when it goes to appeal. We do have to put up a bond, most likely, for whatever she rules is the final number. I don't know where we're going to get the money for that, but that's a separate thing. We're gonna go on no matter what, because I'll fight to the death for these animals.
Tell people where they can go. We got about 1 minute. Go ahead, Leo.
Yes, deltarescue.org. It's very simple. deltarescue.org. That's our website. To make an estate plan, we have a whole page on that up there with a whole bunch of tax savings angles for saving money, leaving more money for your descendants, for your family, and helping your legacy. You love animals, and that's your legacy. Who was this guy? Well, he loved animals, and you prove that by leaving, a gift in your estate. And again, deltarescue.org. We also have a quick one, and your name is on it, Roger. We have 801-801. If they text the word dogs to 801-801, they make a donation, and then they can click on "Where'd you hear about us?" And there's a whole list of our conservative friends that have spoken about us. And you're at the top of the list.
God bless you, Leo, and God bless the important work you're doing at Delta Rescue.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years, and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.